RTX 5060 versus RTX 4060. Is 8GB VRAM enough in 2025? CES 2025 is just around the corner, and the rumor mill is churning out some exciting news about next-gen laptop GPUs. Today, we're diving into a leaked benchmark that suggests the RTX 5060 mobile GPU could be a serious performance leap, but there's a catch. A 3D Mark Time SPY score has surfaced on Bilibili, and it shows the RTX 5060 laptop hitting a whopping 13,821 points. Now, to put that into perspective, the RTX 4060 laptop maxes out around 11,451, and even the RTX 4070 laptop only reaches about 13,391. That means the 5060 could be over 20% faster than its predecessor and even outperform the current Gen 4070 in some scenarios. That's a huge jump. This performance boost is definitely exciting for mobile gamers, especially considering this is likely without maxing out the card's TGP, total graphics power, meaning there's even more potential. Imagine the frame rates we're talking about in the latest AAA titles. But here's the kicker. The RTX 5060 is rumored to be sticking with just 8GB of VRAM. In 2025, with games becoming increasingly demanding, 8GB is starting to feel like a bottleneck. This could seriously limit the card's longevity and prevent it from fully utilizing its performance potential in future titles. This also raises concerns about the desktop RTX 5060. If the mobile version has only 8GB, it's likely the desktop card will follow suit. Launching a new gen desktop GPU with just 8GB of VRAM in 2025, especially at a likely price point above $300, would be a major disappointment. We've seen other manufacturers offer more VRAM at similar price points, so we know it's possible. Thankfully, we don't have to wait long to get official confirmation. CES 2025 is just around the corner, and we expect Nvidia to reveal all the details then. Will they address the VRAM concerns? We'll have to wait and see. Digital gold. US to fortify economy with strategic Bitcoin investment. As former White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci predicts a significant government move into the crypto market. Let's dive into the story. According to Scaramucci, who now heads Skybridge Capital, the U.S. Senate is poised to pass a government purchase of Bitcoin, potentially as large as 500,000 BTC. This strategic move is seen as a way to diversify the country's assets in the digital era. Speaking on the Bankless podcast, Scaramucci revealed that there's strong bipartisan support for Senator Cynthia Lummis' bill. He confidentially stated that the Senate has the votes, and key figures like Senator Haggerty and McCormick are on board. Scaramucci believes President Trump's backing will be a driving force behind the plan. He's even hinted that the Senate Banking Committee, chaired by Tim Scott, is eager to see this through. The argument here is compelling. Why not allocate a fraction of the $600 billion in gold reserves to BTC, which Scaramucci likens to digital gold? This could bolster the U.S. economy and keep pace with technological advancements. But the stakes are high. Scaramucci warns that if the U.S. lags behind, countries like China could gain a strategic advantage by moving swiftly into Bitcoin reserves. He argues that the investment is minimal compared to the federal budget and could strengthen the dollar's position globally. Despite concerns that a large Bitcoin reserve might shake confidence in the U.S. dollar, Scaramucci sees this as a calculated move to stay competitive in the modern financial landscape. At current prices, this could represent just a sliver of the federal budget over 5 years. So, could this be the beginning of the end for traditional reserves, or is it a bold move that could backfire? Stay tuned as we follow this developing story. AMD's bold move against HPWR connectors. In a significant move for the graphics card market, AMD has decided not to enforce the 12V-2x6 power connector for its upcoming Radeon RX 9000 RDNA 4 series, potentially signaling a shift in power standards. According to reports, AMD's custom models of the Radeon RX 9070 XT will stick with the tried and true 8-pin power connectors. This decision comes as a surprise, considering the 12V HPWR connector's recent issues causing GPU meltdowns for some Nvidia users. The Radeon 9070 XT is rumored to have a power draw of up to 330 watts, which is 15 watts higher than the RX 7900 XT and a mere 25 watts below the RX 7900 XTX. This positions it as a high-performance card that could rival Nvidia's GeForce RTX 4080. The thinking behind AMD's choice is clear. Traditional PCI Express sockets and plugs are reliable for designs up to 375 watts, as seen with the Radeon RX 7900 GRE. This could be a strategic play by AMD to ensure stability and compatibility for their and end users, avoiding the controversy surrounding the 12V HPWR connector. By not mandating the 12V-2x6, AMD is essentially saying they have faith in the current standard and that there's no need for a rush transition. This decision also allows them to cater to a broader audience without the need for specialized power supplies. So, is this a conservative approach or a smart move to maintain market stability? We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Stay with us as we keep an eye on the developments in the graphics card industry. Title: Nintendo Switch 2 leaks. Nvidia chip and PCB layout spark excitement. Alleged motherboard images of the Nintendo Switch 2 have leaked, and they're revealing some interesting details. The images, which have sparked a firestorm on the Nintendo Switch 2 subreddit, suggest that the new console will be powered by an Nvidia system-on-a-chip. This chip is expected to surpass the power of the Tegra X1 and Tegra X1 Plus found in the current Switch models. If these leaks are accurate, it's a significant step up for Nintendo. The enhanced processing power could mean better graphics, more complex games, and a smoother overall experience for gamers. This is a move that could put the Switch 2 in direct competition with some of the most powerful home consoles on the market. There's also chatter about the console's release in March, with a price tag ranging from $399 to $499. That's a competitive bracket, especially if the rumors of its enhanced capabilities pan out. While we've seen leaks before that didn't pan out, the consistency of these images with earlier leaks adds a layer of credibility. Nintendo's strategy to keep the Switch family fresh and competitive seems to be on point. However, the success of the Switch 2 will ultimately hinge on the games and the overall user experience it delivers. Stay tuned as we continue to follow this story and bring you the latest on the Nintendo Switch 2. For now, it's a wait-and-see game, but the leaks are certainly exciting. Will VESA's new standards actually improve display quality? Some important updates from VESA, the Video Electronic Standards Association. They've just announced new performance tiers for their ClearMR and Display HDR True Black standards. And this is big news for anyone who cares about picture quality, especially gamers and content creators. But, as always, we'll also be discussing the bigger picture. The sometimes confusing world of display certifications and whether these updates actually address some of the underlying issues. Let's start with ClearMR. This standard, introduced a couple of years ago, is designed to measure motion blur. Instead of relying on vague terms, ClearMR uses a quantifiable metric called the Clear Motion Ratio, CMR. This gives you a percentage of clear pixels to blurry pixels, making it much easier to compare motion clarity between different displays. Now, VESA has added 3 new tiers to ClearMR: 15,000, 18,000, and a top tier 21,000. These are specifically aimed at the latest ultra-high refresh rate displays. We're talking 480 Hz and beyond. This is crucial for competitive gamers who need the absolute smoothest motion possible. We are hearing from major manufacturers like Gigabyte, MSI, and LG who are already supporting these new standards, with LG even announcing the first OLED gaming monitor with ClearMR 21000 certification. This is a step in the right direction. Previously, comparing motion performance was a nightmare. Manufacturers used all sorts of proprietary terms and metrics, making it impossible for consumers to make informed decisions. ClearMR provides a standardized benchmark, which is great. Next up is Display HDR True Black. This standard focuses on HDR performance for emissive displays like OLEDs, emphasizing deep blacks and high contrast. VESA has now added a new 1000 luminance performance tier. This means OLED displays can now achieve 1000 nits peak brightness while maintaining those inky blacks that OLEDs are known for. This is particularly relevant for content creators who need accurate color reproduction and high dynamic range for professional video editing and other demanding tasks. Samsung Display is also on board with this new tier, which further solidifies its importance in the market. Now, here's where we get into the more complex issues. While these updates from VESA are positive, they don't entirely solve the problem of confusing and sometimes misleading display certifications. The display market is flooded with different certifications and logos, often with overlapping or unclear requirements. This makes it incredibly difficult for the average consumer to understand what they're actually buying. Are these certifications truly independent and rigorous, or are they simply marketing tools for manufacturers? This is a question that needs to be asked more often. We've seen instances where manufacturers use certifications in misleading ways, highlighting certain aspects while downplaying others. For instance, a display might boast a high refresh rate but have poor motion clarity, something that ClearMR aims to address. Or, a display might claim HDR support but fail to deliver true black levels or accurate color reproduction. The question is, will these VESA updates help to clean up this mess? In some ways, yes. ClearMR, in particular, is a valuable tool for comparing motion performance. And the new Display HDR True Black tier recognizes the advancements in OLED technology. However, more needs to be done to streamline the overall certification landscape. We need clearer, more consistent standards across the board and stricter enforcement to prevent misleading marketing. Ultimately, these updates from VESA are a step in the right direction, providing more specific and quantifiable metrics for display performance. But we need to remain vigilant and demand greater transparency from manufacturers and certification bodies alike. As consumers, we deserve to know exactly what we're getting.